Welcome to the eCommerce Badassery Podcast, the place for scrappy entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran and former brick-and-mortar boutique owner who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the eCommerce Badassery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. It's officially Q4, which means the holiday season is upon us. And if you're like most e-commerce business owners, you're gearing up for the busiest and most profitable time of the year. But with the constant evolution of consumer behavior and all the crazy things happening in our world, staying on top of the latest trends can make all the difference between crushing it this holiday season or missing out on some key opportunities. In today's episode, I'm breaking down the biggest holiday shopping trends for 2024, from when people are starting their holiday shopping to how different generations have different shopping habits. We'll also dive into how to leverage trends like self-gifting and post-holiday shopping to boost your sales. So let's get started with timing, because that's one of the first things you need to nail down in your marketing calendar. And every year it feels like shoppers are starting earlier and earlier, and 2024 likely won't be any different. According to some of the research I've done, about 27% of shoppers are starting their holiday purchases in October before you've even packed up your Halloween decor. Gen X and millennials lead this trend with 30 and 29% starting in October, respectively. I'm sure there are a lot of different reasons why people start their shopping early. They want to get the best deals, have access to the best products, and probably want to avoid the crazy mad dash that last week before the holiday. So if you want to capitalize on this early shopping, there's a few different ways you could do that. One, you can run your Black Friday deals early. Historically, this has been a hit or miss for my clients and students. For some of them, it works great and they continue to do it. For others, it doesn't really move the needle and they still end up doing better during the Black Friday weekend. The only real way to know if it's going to work for you is to test it out. If you don't want to run your entire Black Friday deal early, maybe you just offer something special for your email subscribers. While I prefer to use your Black Friday promotions as a way to build your list through a pre-launch, even having your existing customers opt into that early access list, that doesn't mean you can't do a little something special for your email people right now to encourage that early shopping with you. While I typically recommend November 1st as the absolute last day that you should be launching your holiday campaign, it doesn't mean you can't release it early. Brands have been doing this for years and consumers definitely get excited about it. At my previous day job, we never released holiday earlier than November 1st because Halloween was one of our top 3 selling periods. So October was always reserved for that. If you don't have that conflict, there's no reason not to release your holiday collection early if it's ready to go. And this is especially true if you don't intend to discount your holiday merchants in your Black Friday deals. And no matter how many early shoppers there are, Black Friday and Cyber Monday still reign supreme. 62% of shoppers still plan to engage with Black Friday deals, especially Gen Z, with 75% planning to get in on the action. And while the majority of people are going to be shopping early and during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, don't forget about your last-minute shoppers. Around 16% of shoppers still wait until December to complete their holiday shopping. So while you want to capitalize on those early sales, make sure your campaigns are running through the season for maximum impact. And I always recommend that last week before the holiday to promote expedited shipping options and gift card sales. The time after Cyber Monday through the last day for ground shipping is a great time to clear out any holiday-specific inventory you might have left over. And don't feel like you have to continue running huge promotions on your best-selling products during that time. Last-minute shoppers are generally less price sensitive. In fact, at my previous day job, we ran our Halloween promotions for the first few weeks of October to kick off that early spending. And then the week of Halloween, we sold everything at full price because at that point, people didn't care. We took a similar approach for Valentine's Day, which was our biggest shopping season as well. So when you're mapping out your promotions, you can really just make Black Friday weekend that main promo period. Then you run a sale on any holiday specific stuff to get that out the door. But in terms of the rest of your products, don't feel obligated to discount them. We can't talk about e-commerce trends without talking about the rise of mobile commerce. 54% of holiday e-commerce sales are expected to come from mobile. So what does that mean for you? If your website isn't optimized for mobile, you're going to be leaving money on the table. Shoppers are busy, they're on the go, and they just want an easy, seamless experience. So the most important thing to do here is to think about what you need to make it simple to check out from a phone. That's going to be features like Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, so the customer doesn't have to type in all of the numbers from their credit card, right? You also want to make sure that any important buttons are above the fold. This is especially important on your homepage. I see way too many top banners that are really big, and then the button is below the fold, and you don't even know that that banner is shoppable. Speaking of mobile, social commerce is another area that's expected to grow this year. Gen Z in particular loves buying directly from platforms like TikTok and Instagram. If you're not leveraging shoppable posts on the social media apps you're already using, now is the time to start. We know that this trend is likely going to continue to grow, especially as more platforms are rolling out in-app shopping experiences. That said, as I've discussed many times before, I don't recommend you try and be in all of the places if it means you can't be consistent or do it well. Can you have a presence there? Sure. I talked about that on episode 289, how to optimize your online presence for e-commerce and brick and mortar. But I don't want you to feel like you have to start posting somewhere new just because it is Q4. If you're on Shopify and you haven't added your products to the Shop app, I would definitely recommend it. It's just an additional sales channel that you can push your products to, and it creates you a little storefront. Pushing your products to the Shop app is a lot easier than having to create your own mobile app that you have to constantly get traffic to, but you can easily do that through a tool like TabCart. In either case, consider running some mobile-only deals to encourage shopping on these platforms and get people used to seeing you there. Another fun holiday 2024 trend is self-gifting. This year, 73% of millennials and 68% of Gen Z plan to treat themselves while shopping for others. This isn't at all surprising, and it's a trend I've seen every year since I started working in retail at age 16. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was. But between kick-ass deals and endless holiday stress, it makes sense that people would just want to reward themselves. So how do you tap into this? The easiest way is to create treat yourself messaging around some of your best-selling products. You can also offer bundle deals where shoppers can snag a little something extra from themselves, or include a buy one, gift one promotion. You could even push a self-care for the holidays angle, depending upon what you sell. If you sell a product that could be easily split up, make sure you mention that in your marketing. There were some things that I bought last year that were a little over budget for what I had set out to spend on the holiday and how we allocate that across all the different people we have to buy gifts for. So there was an item I bought that had like 6 pieces in it, and I kept 3 for myself, and then I gifted 3 to someone else. So if there's a way for you to promote that with the product you sell, definitely worth a shot. And don't underestimate the power of upsells here. Use pop-ups or time-sensitive offers during checkout to encourage shoppers to add something for themselves while they're already in that buying mindset. You know how I feel about cross-sells and upsells. They're an easy way to increase your average order value. They're a must-have for every single e-commerce business. And the trick here is to just take that tried and true strategy and just adjust the messaging for the holiday season. Another thing that I love for the holiday season is a good gift guide. They're great for SEO, they help your customers, and they're easy to promote across multiple channels. But if you want to step it up for 2024 and get a little fancy, in addition to creating your gift guide collections on your website, which you still need for SEO purposes, you can create an interactive gift guide. I've been using a tool for the lounge that lets me create a flippable magazine that I use for the SIP. That's our lounge monthly magazine. It even makes the sound of a page turning when you navigate through it, which is way more fun than a traditional PDF. And the lounge members really love it. One of the best pieces of feedback was in that format, it makes them feel like they need to sit down and read it, and they do. So I know that the consumption on it is a lot better than some of the previous formats that I used. What's cool about this tool is that you can embed the actual magazine on your website. You can send it out via email. You can even share it on social. You can embed videos into the document and it will play right from the magazine. And then, of course, you can add shoppable links with whatever products you feature in there too. I will say that creating the initial PDF can be a heavy lift. So I create the PDF and then I upload it into this program and it creates the magazine. So think of this as a bonus idea. If you have extra time on your hands, this is a nice to have, not a must have. If you want to try the tool I've been using, I'll stick my affiliate link in the show notes. I will say I've been getting away with the free version. You probably can too. But of course, if you end up on the paid version, I super appreciate the support of the podcast. Another trend, and I don't even know if I would call it this anymore, it's pretty standard now, is buy now, pay later. This year, it's projected to account for 9% of all U.S. holiday online sales, and 25% of shoppers plan to use it. If you're not already offering a buy now, pay it later option like Shop Pay, now is the time to add it. If you're not using Shopify payments, then you can use a tool like Afterpay, Klarna, or Sezzle. Just look at what their different rates are. Buy now, pay later is particularly effective for higher priced items because it breaks up the cost, making the purchase seem more affordable. But even for mid-range products, having this option available can be the deciding factor between someone buying it from you or a competitor. And the nice thing is that you get paid up front, and then the buy now, pay later company is the one that deals with getting the payments from the shopper. You just pay essentially a transaction fee for having the option to offer it. If you do have buy now, pay later, I recommend you start promoting this early in your email campaigns. It's a great way to reduce cart abandonment and increase conversions, especially for those who are budget conscious. If you don't already have a buy now, pay later call out in the footer of all of your emails, please add it. Even though it's likely listed on every product page, if the user never clicks the email to see it, it's not going to help you. And in general, the higher priced your products are, the more aggressive, and I say that in air quotes because I don't really mean aggressive, but the more that you should be talking about it and promoting that option. All of that said, one of the biggest concerns most e-commerce business owners have right now is how much shoppers are planning to spend. We've talked about a few of the events that might cause consumers to tighten their purse strings this season, such as the presidential election and the hurricane disaster in the Southeast. But as I mentioned on the episodes where I dove deeper into this, the statistics show that in most cases, elections and natural disasters actually have a minimal effect on the total spend that takes place in Q4. Usually, it just affects when the spend happens. For instance, showing a lull initially and then bouncing back afterwards. That said, with so many people feeling the financial crunch, a study by Tenuity shows that 54% of holiday shoppers plan to spend about the same amount as last year. 25% said they'd spend more, and 21% plan to spend less. So it sounds like it's all going to level out. In general, as long as you have a product people want and you do your part to market yourself, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a successful holiday season. If you want more of the details and the data that I found in regard to these kinds of events, check out episode 291, Will the Election Affect Holiday Retail Sales? And then episode 299, Will Hurricane Helene Affect the 2024 holiday season? Last thing before we go, let's talk about what happens after Christmas. You might think that holiday shopping ends on Christmas Eve, but that's actually not true. 45% of shoppers continue to buy gifts between December 26th and January. And a lot of this shopping is driven by post-holiday sales, right? When you're clearing out seasonal merchandise, people who got cash as Christmas gifts, and the redemption of gift cards. This is the exact reason why the fiscal year for most large retailers is February through January instead of a typical January through December calendar year. You don't have to worry about that for your own accounting purposes, but it is the behavior of consumers that dictated that. If you want to keep the sales flowing, run a post-Christmas sale if you've got some seasonal merchandise that you have to move out. You could always offer discounts on gift cards if there's people that have cash kind of burning a hole in their pocket, but there isn't really anything that they want to buy right now. Maybe they want to save it up for spring. You could also look at running some retargeting ads for those who visited your site during Q4, but maybe they didn't convert. If you want to get a little cheeky, you can always center your marketing around getting the gift they really wanted or the gift that Santa didn't bring them. In any case, this is prime time for scooping up some extra sales. One last pro tip here is to be ready for gift returns and exchanges in January. Make it easy for customers to exchange or upgrade their gifts. You can always offer a limited time discount or incentive for anyone who opts for a store credit over a direct refund. That's a really great way to turn post-holiday returns into extra revenue. And I would also just get in the habit of whoever is running your customer service, whether it's you or you have specific customer agents, is when somebody does request a refund, trying to get a better idea of why that is and see if you can get them to exchange in the moment. That's definitely a little bit easier to do in brick and mortar, but it's still worth a shot if you're communicating through chat or email. All right, friends. So just as a quick recap, there's no reason to believe that the people are not going to be spending money this holiday season. Remember that even though people start their shopping early, you still got a whole bunch of people that love to shop late and even post-Christmas. So keep that campaigning, those email sends, your marketing, your social presence. Keep that up through the entire season. Shift your marketing messages throughout the season to match the person that you're talking to and the potential behavior that they're exhibiting. And use tools like Buy Now, Pay Later and turning your gift guide into a premium catalog to create an overall better experience for your customers. And that, my friends, is a wrap on this week's episode. I hope you're feeling prepared going into the holiday season. Make sure you check the show notes for the resources I quoted today and other episodes to help you plan your holiday marketing. If you need a little bit more hands-on support to get this together and wrapped up in time for the peak shopping season, come join us in the lounge. There's still plenty of time to get this done. Would love to have you inside. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about growing your e-commerce business, get started with my free resource library at ecommercebadassery.com/free stuff and get an invite to the lounge, my e-commerce marketing membership. When you're ready for one-on-one support, apply to work with me at ecommercebadassery.com/apply. Before you go, would you do me a quick favor? Leave a rating and review and tap that follow button. This pushes me up the chart so I can support more scrappy e-commerce entrepreneurs just like you. I'm on a mission to reach as many as I can, and I could really use your help. Thanks so much in advance. Until next time, e-commerce friend, stay badass.